Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Moving Right Along, a Muppet movie podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. This is the podcast where we watch Muppets from Space 2 minutes at a time and talk about it a lot. I am your host, Anthony Strand.
And I'm your other host, Ryan Rowe.
And joining us today, we have an old pal, a return guest. Guest, please introduce yourself.
Hi, it's Julia Gaskill from toughpigs.com and the podcast Fraggle Talk Classic as well.
It's all true.
Yeah. This was Adam from Fraggle Talk. This was the first season that he made an appearance on, right?
Yeah, just a few episodes ago.
We've had all three of you on this season, so that's quite a thrill.
Yeah. That's awesome. Good crossover.
Yeah.
For sure. And Julia is joining us today to discuss minutes 79 and 80 of Muppets from Space. We are almost down to the end. But in these minutes, the Muppets all say goodbye to Gonzo for no reason because Gonzo does nothing and goes nowhere.
It is a full minute of them saying goodbye and then a full minute of Gonzo saying, wait a minute, I'm not going to leave.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that this all happens in 1 2-minute clip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because, until we can get into it here, but until we watched it for this, it did not occur to me how long they take saying goodbye to him.
Yeah.
All right. So we started with the goodbyes last time, but now Rizzo says, hey, don't worry about me. I can always get another roommate. And his voice cracks.
So who would be Rizzo's new roommate? Would it be one of the newly introduced characters to him in this movie, like Bubba or one of the other rats or all of the other rats or Bobo as Rentro?
Maybe Bobo as Rentro is going to move in with him.
I think that would be fun.
That would be a good team up. Yeah. Good size differential, lots of room for comedy right there.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. Rizzo can sleep on Bobo while Bobo is asleep.
Very true.
Yeah. And actually, as I say that, it's occurring to me they could that would be a repeat of the dynamic of the Muppet Real World sketch on Muppets Tonight with the whole Bizzo's Bat Chow running gag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, what a pull.
Yeah. Yeah, I did not remember that.
That's what happened, yeah.
Muppets Tonight season 2. That's a real automatically a deep cut.
I guess so.
Same. I should revisit it. My kids have not seen Muppets Tonight at all. And they would probably enjoy it.
I think so.
That would be fascinating to see what a kid, because that show feels so intrinsically 90s to me. And having kids today watch it and what their overall take on that, the feel and vibe of that show would be.
Yeah, maybe I'll see if they want to watch it and turn it into content for toughpigs.com.
There you go.
What are family members for, but to turn into Tough Pigs content.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But anyways, so Gonzo says, buddy, which I kind of like that. That's kind of cute. After Rizzo says that. Gonzo walks over to Kermit and says, and Kermit, you're the best friend any alien could ask for. And it's kind of startling to hear Gonzo trying on his new identity as an alien.
Right. He's acknowledging that. Yeah.
It's been a second since I've watched the movie. This is his first time. Well, he obviously now knows in the context of this movie that his family is a bunch of aliens. Is this the first time he's an alien me could ask for?
Yeah, really? It's the first time he's used that word. He said, my people are coming, and stuff like that.
Interesting. Okay.
Earlier in the movie. It's the first time he's used the word alien to describe himself.
Sure. Yeah, I guess so.
First and probably only time, I think.
Probably.
Right? There's not that much dialogue left after the scene.
Yeah.
But so then Kermit says his classic line, his signature great line, "Oh, we love you, Gonzo." He doesn't say thanks. He doesn't say you're my friend too. He says, "Oh, we love you, Gonzo." Not I love you, not anything personal.
Well, it has the feel of when somebody is surprised by an outpouring of affection. And so it's kind of I don't know, should I say I love you or we love you? It's just kind of that.
Yeah, fair enough.
That vibe. And Anthony, I think last week maybe you compared this scene to Dorothy saying goodbye to all her friends at the end of The Wizard of Oz.
Right. Yeah.
So I think this is definitely the Scarecrow, I'll miss you most of all moment.
Yeah, I think that's right.
of the sequence.
Yeah,
I mean,
do you know what?
Kermit is the scarecrow in the Muppets Wizard of Oz, so
Oh,
it does
right.
fit.
That's true. He is.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
he is.
that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, but as I also said last week, you know what Dorothy does at the end of that movie? She goes home.
She leaves.
She
Like,
commits.
Yep.
yeah. But anyway, so then they hug. Kermit says, so you'll write? Gonzo says, oh yeah, sure, all right. There's probably a mailbox every couple of light years. Kermit kind of chuckles. Gang, did we chuckle? What do we think of this?
It kind of feels like a Gonzo thing that he would respond, just like something so far out of left field, where it's like, I don't know if that's how that works, man, but he's just kind of in his own little world.
Yeah,
It's, I mean, it's not very funny in my opinion, but I guess
I
it's
agree.
something that you could say if you're going to space and you're also in a children's movie full of puppets.
Yeah. Well, I don't think
It
it's
is that. I can't argue with that.
true, accurate. I don't think it's funny, but I think again, it's kind of a human moment, which is maybe what they thought they needed for this scene, where I think especially the Dave Goelz's delivery of it just sort of authentically captures the way somebody would say something like this. Like when you're saying goodbye to somebody, you're moving away and you know that you would really like to keep in touch. You know that you would really like to write to this person, but you know that you're probably not going to. So that's kind of what this feels like to me, where he's like, "Oh, sure, yeah, I'll write to you if there's gonna be mailboxes." Yeah, like that's how it feels to me. But and I like that he accurately states that light years are a unit of distance, not time. And a light year is approximately 5.88 trillion miles. So there's, those mailboxes are still pretty few and far between.
That's true. And do you want to remind us why they're called light years?
Oh, it's something about the distance or the distance that it takes light to travel in a year, something
Yeah,
like that.
it's the distance that light travels in one Earth year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't think that I knew that. I've learned something new today.
Oh, good.
Phenomenal.
This is an educational podcast.
Yes, that's why people tune in to Moving Right
That's
Along.
yeah,
Learn
that's why.
to learn science.
Yes.
Yeah, we teach it. Well, we're always out here teaching science. And then all right, so but some other guys say goodbye. We're not even done. We're not even done with the goodbyes yet. Pepe says adios, Mr. Spaceman. Okay.
Well, Pepe has obviously heard the Kermit Unpigged album and heard Gonzo sing Mr. Spaceman with Jimmy Buffett.
That's right. That's why he calls him that.
Yeah.
It is. We talked about this when we covered that album, but it is funny that Gonzo does Mr. Spaceman on that, and there was apparently no thought of him being an alien at that time. He's just a weird dude.
Yeah.
When did that album come out?
94.
Yes.
Whoa, maybe that was the catalyst. Maybe they did that album because this was, within the decade after. Maybe they started thinking about it. I'm sure that wasn't the case, but
It
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 is
could have
somewhat
Right,
been
close
but
part of
together.
the thought process.
yeah, one does wonder. And then Clifford says, "Man, you keep saying goodbye and you'll never get home." And Clifford is correct. That is what happens.
He's ready for the movie to be over, just like we are.
It's interesting. So I don't know if more characters spoke to Gonzo in the minutes leading up to this one, but like Piggy and Fozzie are there off to the side, but Clifford and Pepe getting lines, I'm like, oh yeah, Muppets Tonight was just a thing. So they're getting these prominent moments in this like big farewell scene, and it's interesting that it wasn't these other characters. And I don't know if maybe those other characters did already have a moment, but I was like, yeah, okay.
Fozzie does, right? Am I wrong? Doesn't he say goodbye to Fozzie right before Rizzo? We don't
But
even remember.
does
It's been one
Fozzie,
week.
I know isn't that funny, but does Fozzie say anything back to him? I don't remember that he does.
Fozzie and him sing Stepping Out with a Star together, the whole song.
You would
Wouldn't
think
this
that they
wouldn't
would.
this
It
movie
it
be
would be
better if they
nice.
did?
Yes, it would. Well, and Gonzo could say stepping off to the stars because he's
Hey, good
flying away
times.
to
Yeah,
space. Yeah.
that'd be great.
You would think that Gonzo would say goodbye to Fozzie and they would have a moment because he's had a I mean, to the audience, he's had a relationship with Fozzie longer than he has with Clifford or Pepe.
Right, they're part of the classic trio.
Well,
Yeah.
right, or at least, the classic Muppet Show cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Clifford's comment makes Gonzo realize that he's actually leaving, and this is where he starts to doubt himself. He says, "Oh yeah, home, home." And then he does not sing the closing number from The Wiz, the 1975 musical, but he should. It would be way better if he did. And what he does do is turn and look at the spaceship and he says, "Time to go home." And guess what? Then Gonzo, K. Edgar Singer, and all the other Gonzos start walking toward the ship. And this makes the Muppets real sad. Animal starts making some noises like, uh, uh. And Bunsen wipes a tear from behind his glasses,
His non-existent eyes,
his
yes.
non-existent eyes, like that. As Gonzo walks up, the Uber Gonzo motions upward and says, "The stars beckon." And then he turns to Gonzo and says, "Shall we go home?" And it's just great to hear Jerry Nelson say things.
Oh yeah, always.
That's enough for me. Like, that's enough that I enjoy this.
Yeah, well, it's great to have him as this character who gets to make these dramatic pronouncements.
Yeah. Well, and as we've discussed, he doesn't really get that much else to do in this movie.
No.
He plays Statler, and there's like a couple of stray lines, I think, early. Like, does New Zealand say anything? He doesn't, right? He's there.
I don't think he does.
Yeah.
No
Robin
Floyd.
has
I mean,
Robin has a
Floyd is
couple of
present, but
lines.
he doesn't say anything.
Robin
Yeah.
says like it's breakfast time, Uncle Kermit, or whatever.
What are you gonna do now that you're on vacation, Uncle
Yeah,
Kermit?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so there's not a ton of him. So it's good that he gets like some nice moments at the end here.
Yeah.
But Gonzo turns, looks at all of his Muppet friends, turns back to the Uber Gonzo and says, "I don't think so." And he takes
What?
off his helmet. Yeah, we didn't see it coming. We thought he was gonna leave forever. Takes off his helmet, hands it to the Uber Gonzo, who just says his name. He just questions, "Gonzo?" And then, gang, Gonzo has a monologue about why he's staying home. And it goes like this. "Thank you for going to so much trouble to find me, but I can't go. I love these guys. My life is here. This is my home. We need to be in Rob Lake Magic on Broadway." That's what he says.
That's why
That's
he
what he
has to
says.
stay.
Yep, he
Oh
has to
my
stay to do
God.
it.
He's just waiting for that day.
He's counting down. It's weird that it was such a surprise announcement since Gonzo says it in this movie 26 years earlier.
Wow.
No, but the rest of that is what he says. And it's not really anything, right? Like, it'd be nice if Gonzo had something memorable to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, or something maybe more specific to, yeah, just to staying with his friends. But yeah, I mean, like we've said, there's so much that's not specific about who the Muppets are or what the Muppets do in this movie. So it's not like he could say, I have to stay here so we can keep doing the Muppet Show because there's no indication that they do the Muppet Show in this movie.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what else he would say.
Yeah, I remember this scene hitting harder in the past, and maybe that would be the case if I was watching the entire movie all of the way through and not just this 2 minute
Mhm.
segment. But my note for it is this is not exactly Shakespeare. It's short, it's pretty bland, and thinking of some of the other Muppet monologues from previous movies, it definitely doesn't really hold the same weight as, Kermit speaking to himself, or even weirdly, like, I don't know, Walter in like an upcoming movie for y'all, like being talked to by Jason Segel about growing up. That's like, and maybe that's emotional for me because of where I was at the time of that movie coming out.
Sure.
But
Hmm.
but it is kind of just him saying a whole lot of nothing, a little bit.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just words. It's so first
yeah.
draft. It's so
Yeah.
placeholder emotional speech. And I don't know. It would be nice if they called back to "I'm going to go back there someday" or something, tie it in with like, you know, he didn't just meet these old friends or something. I don't know. I don't know what,
No,
but just
yeah. I 100% agree with that. Like I've talked about it on this podcast, other podcasts on Tough Pigs, but like that's one of the reasons I love Gonzo so much. Yes, he is a weird artist, but also of all of the Muppets, he has the most potential for like sentimentality and to be vulnerable. And we've seen that on the Muppet Show and I'm going to go back there someday and all these other little moments. And I think there could have been more emotion packed into this final scene, but it's just lacking. It's so quick and it's just like, no, I'm gonna stay. My home's here. And then that's it. And then he stays.
Yeah. Yeah. See ya.
Yeah, I
So
guess they made us wait so long. We've been complaining about how long this whole beach sequence is. Maybe the rest of the beach sequence could have been shorter, and then this big emotional moment could have been a little bit, there could have been more to it, so it felt more significant somehow.
yeah. Or hear me out, instead of waiting on the beach for hours for them to show up,
Yeah.
they could have just gotten there and then Gonzo could have done something with them besides get shot out of a cannon.
Yeah, like the aliens show up right away on time.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
like the third act is that they do something with Gonzo's family. They have
Yeah.
some sort of adventure with them. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe Ryan, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right about Muppets from Space.
Maybe I am. Maybe I've been right about it all along.
This is the climax of this season of the podcast is
Yeah.
the twist that Ryan was right.
Yeah, the twist is that Ryan was right about Muppets from Space, and I was absolutely still right about Muppet Treasure Island. All right,
I don't know about
so
that.
but that's not the end of this clip because the Uber Gonzo says, "If that is your decision, then that's where we stop."
It just cuts off. It's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, we don't know what he's gonna say. He's gonna say, "If that is your decision, I will buy tickets for opening night to Rob Lake Magic on Broadway. Can't wait to see it. I'll be there."
If that is your decision, I don't accept it. You're coming with us. And then he grabs him and pulls him out of the spaceship.
Yep, that's what happens.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts about these 2 minutes before we go? Julia, I'll start with you.
Not really. I'll say that the very, very, very start of this clip, I don't know if it's like just like leftover from something else, but there was like a millisecond shot of the cement building
Oh.
blocks, which I
Yeah,
wasn't
it was
sure if it was from like just another part of the movie and it just
correct.
bled onto it, or
Yeah.
if it was, yeah,
So
it is.
when I was splitting up the clips from this movie, somehow that there was like a glitch in the process of doing that,
Okay.
and that got left
So,
in
so
to
ever
every
since
clip that
that,
came after
yeah,
it. Yeah.
we see it every
Okay.
week. It has become my old and familiar friend.
Yes.
Okay.
And
I was
congratulations, though. You're only the second guest to comment on it. So,
okay. It's because I was so confused where I was like, they're on the beach, and I'm pretty sure it wouldn't cut from that to like in the middle of the goodbyes, and I was like, maybe I'm forgetting something. But okay, cool.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
That was a big question mark in my notes. I mean, I'm sure y'all have talked about what Gonzo was wearing, but I forgot what was on his tie and I had to Google it because it's not really shown in this scene, but it's got like Camilla on a beach.
yeah.
Yeah, they're
Because
it's like Vacation Camilla, yeah.
which in the shot you can only really see the top part, and I'm like, is that like a top of a pineapple or some kind of plant? But it's the top of a palm tree, and then she's like wearing like a hula skirt and has a lei on. And then that also made me think, where's Camilla? Why is she not on the beach? Wouldn't he want to say goodbye to his chicken girlfriend
Yeah,
before he leaves planet Earth?
she's
She's not in the
basically not
movie,
a
right?
character in this movie. Yeah. There are chickens at the house. We see Sam leading them in some sort of calisthenics.
That's right, yes.
But that's kind of it. And it's like it seems like they want Gonzo to be lonelier, right? Like
That's
Hmm.
our best
because we keep
theory.
doing
Yeah. Is that if Gonzo has a love in his life, then it kind of defeats the point of him being alone in the movie.
but it is weird that he's wearing a tie with a chicken on it in that case. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Maybe she gave it to him as a present or something.
Hmm.
As far as other notes, I mean, we don't have to talk about him because I'm sure y'all have talked about him a ton, but like out of context, Jeffrey Tambor just being in the background is so weird. Just if you didn't
Sure,
know
yeah.
anything, you're just like, wait, why is he on the ship with them? So that's a
Right.
moment.
Yeah.
Um, I think that that's pretty much it. I feel like we hit all of the other big notes. It was nice seeing Sweetums. I forgot Sweetums was going to be on the beach.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
fun. He's fun to just see in the crowd. He
hmm
stands out every time.
Oh, that was my one other question was I remember that the crowd has cameos of puppeteers in it, and I
Yeah,
didn't notice anybody in this, so I'm sure probably any puppeteers actually being used for puppeteering in this moment. Can you remind
right.
me who all pops up in the like cameos as a puppeteer in the film?
Sure. So it's Drew Massey, John
hmm
Kennedy, Steve Whitmire as a rainbow. He gives Bunsen a Beaker a ride.
The
He's
hippie.
in the van, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then Peter Linz, who appeared on this podcast to discuss his cameo, and you can go listen to
Nice.
that app. Yeah.
That's great.
Did you
Am,
say
am
Ricky
I
Boyd?
forgetting one, Ryan? Oh, and Ricky Boyd. I knew I was forgetting one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, but yeah,
Awesome.
Peter came on the minutes that he's in on camera and talked about it, and it was really good. And I would recommend go check it out if you want.
Of all of the seasons y'all have done of this podcast, have you ever had another like person who isn't puppeteering is actually themselves on screen come in for their minutes?
Well, we had Meredith Braun talk about When Love Is Gone. That was the other
Cool.
one. Yeah,
Oh, nice. Awesome. Okay.
yeah, that was
I'm
cool.
I'm behind on
I
all
guess
of the
so. I guess
podcasts I
so.
listen to.
Yeah,
Don't worry about it.
I got
There's
too
too
much
many
on my
sure.
podcasts.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
yeah.
We understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't heard your season 3 episodes for Fraggle Talk
That's
Classic either.
Yeah, I'm
that's
way behind on
perfectly
Fraggle
fine.
Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
someday
yeah,
we'll all catch up on each other's podcasts.
Someday.
that'll,
It'll be
that's I look forward
glorious.
to that day. Yeah.
As I've said before, the problem with podcasts is that they don't end. You know, it's like you're watching a
Right.
TV show and it ends, but most TV shows. But a podcast, you just like eventually fall behind on everything. Like that's just what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, you either fall too far behind and you give up, or you rage quit sometimes if you're me. Occasionally,
Yeah.
though, a podcast will end, and I gotta say, almost every time I'm listening to a podcast and they announce that they're going to be ending soon, I'm often very relieved because it's like, oh, that's great. That's one less thing I have to listen to on a weekly or bi-weekly basis.
Right. You can take it out of your rotation. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, and that, listeners, is why we take long breaks between seasons, so you can start
Sure.
to miss us.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the reason. It's not because I get lazy and complacent about editing.
no, not that at all. Hey
That's not
Ryan,
why.
hey Ryan, you
Yes.
have any other thoughts about these 2 minutes before we go?
Yes, I do. I had, well, one thing, when Gonzo and Kermit hug, it made me think about, is it from the Lola Falana episode? The
Hmm.
when there's that image of Gonzo and Kermit hugging that often pops up on social media.
Yeah, it's
And
from
I
when
was just
Gonzo's
thinking,
gonna go to Bombay.
right, yeah. I was just thinking, oh yeah, another time when Gonzo was going to leave and then didn't. But I
That's
was
true.
just thinking when we saw this moment, like, oh wow, it's nice to see an image of Gonzo and Kermit hugging that I'm not sick of seeing on social media. So there was that. And then I was thinking that probably there was a page on TV tropes for this kind of storytelling device when a character is searching for something or like a family or whatever for the whole story and then gets to the end and decides not to, or like, oh, my family was this other group of characters all along. And there's a page on TV tropes called I Choose to Stay, which is this exactly. And I was gonna read some of the other examples from it, but then I realized if I did that, I would be giving away the endings to those other things. So if you want to, you can go look up I Choose to Stay on TV tropes. But one that I think we can safely compare it to that people have seen is Follow That Bird, where Miss Finch spends the movie fanatically, insisting that she place Big Bird with a bird family. And then at the end, she sees Big Bird with his Sesame Street family. And she's like, oh, yes, there, I did it. I've done a great job placing Big Bird with a family. This is where he belongs. So,
Yeah, and speaking of that movie, it also has a much better goodbye scene because Big Bird says goodbye to everybody before he goes to live with the Dodos. So he actually does leave for quite a long
he does
time
leave. That's true.
when
Yeah.
he's saying his tearful goodbyes, and Grover tells him to don't forget to breathe in and out and all that.
Yes.
Ah, what a
And
great
then
movie.
that is a good movie. And then he
We should
decides
watch that. We should watch him follow that bird 2 minutes at a time.
maybe we will
Maybe someday.
someday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's a good one because that's the story is him deciding to come back. So
Right.
yeah, what if Gonzo left to go find his family in space at the beginning of the movie, and then the rest of it was Gonzo making his way back to Earth? But that would have a much higher budget because then Gonzo would be in space and the Muppets would have to go to space to find him. So that
Yeah.
would probably not be feasible. And then I have a pretty major screenplay draft item, which I guess because this is so far a short-ish episode, which might become a longish episode if I tell you everything that I have here, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. Um,
Okay.
in the early drafts of the screenplay, something else happens before Gonzo decides to stay on Earth. There's a high stakes ticking clock climax. A couple of episodes ago, I mentioned that the Uber Gonzo in these drafts tells Gonzo that the aliens are not great at space travel. So Gonzo says, "Really? Your ship looks really good." And the Uber Gonzo says, "That's what you think. In 20 minutes, our ship will be completely out of coolant." And he explains that when that happens, their force field will explode. And then when that happens, so does the whole ship, and so does the planet Earth. So the Uber Gonzo pulls out a whoopee cushion with a digital clock in the center that is counting down from 20 minutes, which, by the way, in the following drafts is only 8 minutes. So that's an even more urgent ticking clock device.
Yeah.
And for every minute that elapses, it makes the poot sound of a whoopee cushion. So this is a Jerry Jewell screenplay draft. I guess, for as much as I hate the fart shoes in the Muppets 2011, I guess if this if this version of the screenplay had gotten made, then I would have had to rage about this whoopee cushion.
Deal with that. Yeah.
Yeah, and Muppets from Space. But Bunsen is delighted to observe what a great invention this is, but everyone else is panicking. The Uber Gonzo is confident that Gonzo can find the necessary coolant. He asks the chief engineer about it, and the engineer responds in a Scottish accent
Of
that
course.
in
Of course.
yes, that in Gonzarian it's called Gershpolus, something like that. So Kermit says, "Could the coolant be anything like water or ice cubes? Could we blow on things like a fan?" So, thanks for trying, Kermit, but no. Meanwhile, the aliens.
Do you think they would have gotten James Doohan to do it?
Oh, like, it would have been really funny to have James Doohan like wearing a Gonzo nose. Yeah,
Yeah, that would have been good.
yeah, that would have been good. Yeah, I bet they
He
would.
was still around in 1999, so
Sure. Yeah, I bet they were probably hoping that if that had happened, yeah, if that had made it into the
yeah.
final movie, sure. The aliens look up the coolant in a dictionary. The English translation is a rare orange fungus known as Yuckengagius upchuckium.
Great.
Now, do you remember me mentioning this previously in the screenplay drafts?
I do
Okay.
not. I do not.
Well, some of our listeners might remember that earlier in this screenplay draft, in early scenes, Gonzo was carrying around a jar of Yuckengagius upchuckium fungus. Like he brought it to the breakfast table and everybody was weirded out by this. So he has this, but it's at the Muppet house. It's at home. So they race home in John and Barbara Mallett's station wagon, but the house is locked. Who has the key? Well, New Zealand had it last, but he left it in his room, and apparently they only have one key to the house, which seems weird, but okay. And now there's only 5 minutes left, and the whoopee cushion clock is still ticking down and making a poot noise every minute. So Kermit says, "Animal, you can be the hero." Animal says, "Hero, hero." Kermit says, climb to the roof. The stage directions say, animal leaps in the air and sticks to the side of the house like a lizard. What do we think of that?
Kind of fun.
Yeah. Uh,
Feels like Great Muppet Caper, right? Animal eats through these iron bars.
yeah,
Right?
and I'm kind of picturing an effect like the Muppets all shimmying up the side of the Mallory
Yeah,
Gallery.
Yeah.
that's what I thought of too. Yeah.
Yeah, he climbs up the wall. Kermit tells him to slide down the chimney. Gonzo says, this could work. This has to work. Animal says, here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, and does a swan dive into the chimney. That I would have liked to see. But now there are only 4 minutes left. But all Animal has to do is run into the hallway past the lava light. Now, do you remember me mentioning the lava light in the screenplay drafts earlier in previous scenes?
I
No,
do not.
I'm
I'm
guessing
sorry.
not. Okay, but some listeners might remember that in these screenplay drafts, this I guess maybe they didn't call it a lava lamp because is that a registered trademark? I assume.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Muppets have a lava light at their house, and Animal is mesmerized by it. Every time he sees it, he just stops and is hypnotized by it. So he's on his way to get to go into the house, and he just stops and is mesmerized by the lava light on the shelf. This is now a crisis. He just stops and stares at it. He says, "Pretty, pretty light." 3 minutes left. Gonzo says, "This is terrible. It's awful. It's the worst thing that's ever happened." New Zealand says, I think I can help. Gonzo says, how can you help? You're the one who forgot the key. New Zealand says, I also forgot to lock the door.
Okay, that's actually pretty
Great.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
was
pretty
gonna
good.
say all of this actually sounds like more fun than what happens, which is nothing.
Well, it is something happening, right? It's
Yeah.
action and it's Muppets running around and doing silly things. So Gonzo runs inside and grabs the fungus. Now there's only 1 minute left. So what do you think happens next?
The fungus
Any
grow
predictions?
fungus grows and covers the thing.
That's a good guess, but no. The aliens have brought their ship to the Muppets' house, so they don't have to drive the station wagon back. But now the ship is pulsating red because it's overheating, which is very scary. It's starting to shake. It's making a lot of noise. The aliens lower their coolant slurper, which is a tube-like
Of
structure.
course.
Yes, it's
I
a
I
I
don't
should
care
have
for
known.
that.
Oh, you don't like the you don't like the concept of a coolant
Coolant
slurper?
slurper? No, I'm
No.
It's a tube-like structure with a nozzle at the end, which looks like a vacuum cleaner hose. The sounds of the ship overheating are getting louder and more violent as Gonzo struggles to open the jar because the lid is stuck. 10 seconds left. Piggy says, bang the lid on the edge of the counter. Fozzie says, run hot water on it. Clifford says, no, man, you run cold water on it. It's like feed a cold and starve a fever. Piggy says, that's starve a cold and feed a fever. Which, by the way, I personally can also never remember which way it is. Is it it's feed a cold and starve a fever. Is that the correct
Yes,
way?
that's
Yeah.
what it is. Yes.
Okay. And then in the stage directions, it says, "Oh God, is there anything else we can do to increase the tension?" With then four question marks and exclamation points. So Gonzo gets the lid off at the last second. The slurper slurps up the fungus. The ship then makes a sound like a very large creature saying, ah. So like a large creature has just slurped up a refreshing beverage. And
Huh.
the Uber Gonzo says, I declare ourselves, the ship, and Earth to be saved, and we owe it all to our star traveler, Gonzo the Great. So then they
Huh.
proceed with the rest of the ending of the movie. So how about that?
I do think, I mean, I like I said, I do think it's better just because things happen.
Yeah, it's something happening. It's
Like
not just
it's not perfect. It's not, I hope it wouldn't have been that exactly,
right.
but I don't know.
But adding stakes, like if we don't do this right now, the Earth's going to blow up. That is at least it's yeah, it's exciting. It's something. It's not just
Yeah,
the like, oh, okay, sorry guys, I'm going to leave. Never mind, I'm not going to leave.
right. Yeah, so I'm for it.
Yeah, I would have liked to see maybe a version of that, or at least, yeah, something to add a little bit more urgency, or like a last minute twist similar to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, that's what I got.
All right, cool. Thank you. Thank you for
Wow.
sharing.
Sure. And thanks to Jerry Jewell for writing that.
Yeah. Thanks to Jerry Jewell for a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So, Julia, we have two questions that we ask all of our guests this season. The
hmm
first one is, what is your history with the movie Muppets from Space?
I have kind of a weird history with this. So I wrote the 20-year retrospective piece for Tough Pigs on this movie, which I couldn't remember the year that the movie came out, and I looked it up, and that was, 1999. And so I wrote that retrospective 7 years ago. I don't know if y'all remember, but I cited in that piece that as a child, my good friend got to interview the Muppets at our
Oh,
local
yeah.
Yeah.
station. Yeah, so this is a whole thing. I cited that. My biggest regret is I wish I didn't name my friend or I'd given her a false name because then people or a person then became fascinated about getting that clip to the point of bugging me and also
Oh,
the news
yeah.
station.
Did
And
we
it is
go?
on
Oh,
it's online now. You can go and
Okay.
see it. It's like AM Northwest. If you look up like Muppets from Space, uh Portland, you'll find it. My friend Annie is in the video as a 9-year-old child. But it was really
oh,
that was that whole thing was maybe something that I didn't enjoy now tied to this movie,
So we
unfortunately.
don't need to change the name in the article if it hasn't
No,
already been done.
I
Okay.
think that we had talked about it,
the
but at
clip's
that
out
point
there now. Yeah.
the clip was
Yeah.
out there, and so it was, it's fine. And I've spoken to my friend, and it's also fine on her end as well. But that was a thing that I
Okay.
had tied to this movie for so long was that when I was a 9-year-old, I got to go to a news station and watch my friend interview the Muppets, and I remember being so jealous of her
Yeah.
because she
For
got to
sure.
talk to the
Yeah.
Muppets. Yeah. So and then I saw it in theaters. I remember as a child, and it's definitely a movie that I do genuinely enjoy. It is, I know we're not ranking the movies anymore. It is probably at the bottom of my list, which I feel is pretty common, but
For
it's,
sure.
you know, as far as movies go, it is still a movie I would rather watch than many other movies out in the world.
For
Um,
sure.
yeah, it has been a while since I've watched it. But there are a lot of good heartfelt moments. This one I guess it would be interesting to revisit it. Maybe if I watched it all together, this moment I'd be like, oh, I feel the heart in this, and just not watching like a 2-minute standalone clip where I'm like, this feels pretty stilted coming in at the blue. Yeah. Um, but I love Gonzo. He is my favorite character, and so this movie does have that emotional weight for me. And actually, it was interesting. I was looking back through my retrospective, and in it, I cited how, for me, like it stood out on that watch the allegory of like you could look at the messaging being about like coming out or being trans, and then I looked it up, and I wrote that before Ren wrote the non-binary Gonzo icon article. So I did see
Oh,
that
yeah.
idea just a little bit. I didn't explore it in full, but that
Right.
is, you
Nice.
know. So yeah. Anyway, it's a good movie. I understand completely though why you guys are maybe ready to move on to the next season of the podcast. Yeah,
Sure. Awesome. All right. And then our second question is, what is your favorite science fiction movie or TV show or other property?
it is Jurassic Park.
Hey,
It
nice.
Ah,
it was my favorite movie for a very long time. In fact, I think I got really into it when I like first joined up on the Tough Pigs forum. So I probably talked about it a lot back in the day as a 22-year-old being like, "Hey, do you guys know about Jurassic Park? This movie's really great."
You ever
Um,
heard? Well, I remember you going as Ellie Sattler for like
mhm.
Halloween or
yeah.
something
Yeah,
back then.
yeah, I was Ellie for Halloween that year, and I still have that costume and pull it out occasionally.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Very
Awesome.
easy to put together. Yeah, I think that is a perfect movie. Also a pretty good book, but the first movie in particular is phenomenal. Then they get progressively worse the more you watch,
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
opinion.
For
Yeah,
sure.
more or less. Yeah.
I think most people agree in general. If not like, every single one worse. Like the general arc is downward. I think
I
most people agree.
I like 3 more than 2, which I think
Yeah,
is an
me too.
popular
Yep.
opinion. It's got the weird dinosaurs talking to Alan sequence at the start, but then
Sure
it's
does.
fun and reminiscent of the first one. And I don't love the second one. I
No.
like getting to see Jeff
I've
Goldblum
never
again.
really liked the Lost World.
Yeah, yeah. First one's great
Yeah.
though.
Have you seen
So good.
Rebirth? Did you see that one last summer?
No, I missed it. I saw the first of the new ones that came out years ago, and I really did not care for it. And everyone told
It's
me how much
bad.
I love it. And I was like, this movie is, first off, very
Mm,
sexist and also just very bad. And so then
yeah.
I did not feel inclined to see more. So at some point, I heard that the newest one was pretty good as far as the Jurassic Park franchise goes. So at some point, I'll probably watch it.
Yeah, I think I liked Rebirth, maybe maybe a notch above any of the previous three, but that's maybe damning with faint praise.
That's
I
fair.
haven't
So,
seen Dominion or Rebirth.
hmm,
At some point, I realized that I didn't need to be a completist with every franchise,
yeah,
and I
that's
just kind of stopped.
you can just
It's
not.
this,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
true.
it's the same reason I never saw the last two Ghostbusters movies,
Oh
like
yeah.
whatever.
Don't,
Yeah,
yeah, you
yeah.
can just not.
Yeah,
It's a good
there's
way to
no,
keep
I,
your sanity.
yeah, I'll survive, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. You will not turn into a ghost
Anyways,
if you don't.
that's right. All right. Well, thank you so much, Julia. And thank you for being here. What a joy. What a delight to see you.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Awesome. And thank you, listeners, for listening to the show. We'll be back next week. In the meantime, you can check out toughpigs.com on the internet. We're on Facebook, Blue Sky, Instagram, all over the place. You can become a patron of Tough Pigs on Patreon. You can email us at movingrightalong@toughpigs.com. You can follow Ryan on Blue Sky at me, Ryan Rowe, and on Letterboxd at Movies Are Neat. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Durwood Clapper and on Letterboxd at Zeppo Marxist. Julia, remind our listeners where they can find you and your work online.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm mostly on Instagram these days, which is still at Geek Girl Grown Up. I am on Blue Sky and Threads under the same name. I'm barely on there though, so you can follow and maybe I'll surprise you in the future. I do write for Tough Pig still occasionally, and then probably actually the best way to get more Muppet content from me is by listening to the podcast Fraggle Talk Classic, which I do with Beth and Adam, which comes out usually every other week. We might be in a little bit of a hiatus right now, but we should be coming back with more episodes sometime soon. And then I guess also juliagaskill.com if you happen to like poetry and you want to read some, I suppose.
Yeah, plug that work. By all means,
Yeah.
Yeah.
plug, please. Awesome. And then, all right. Yeah, thank you again for being here. Thank you to Jordan Brandon for composing our theme music and to Morgan Davy for designing our logo. And thank you to you, listener, for giving us a positive review on iTunes and telling your alien family when they go home without you, they can listen to our show on the way. We will be back next week with another one. Goodbye.
We'll see you next week. No, we won't. Yes, we will.